Hello, friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind GodUpdates and God2, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
Curious young child who crawled into a claw machine is rescued soon after. Written by Heather Riggleman, read by Julie Provost. A curious young child who crawled into a claw machine is rescued soon after, thank goodness. Kids, if they aren't melting your heart, they're testing your sanity. And sometimes, they're wedging themselves into claw machines at the local community center, like they're trying to win the ultimate prize. Like a plushie, or maybe just a little glory. In Mason, Ohio, a young boy named Noah reminded us all that mischief is practically a love language for toddlers. It happened on a regular Monday, the kind of summer day when kids have too much energy and not enough to do. According to the City of Mason Police Department, first responders were called to the Mason Community Center to something both hilarious and slightly alarming. The child had crawled into a claw machine. Yes, into it. The whole ordeal was caught on camera and showed Noah meandering near the machine like any curious little soul. When suddenly, legs first, he began climbing through the prize chute. A man walking nearby noticed the boy before he fully disappeared inside, but by then Noah had already committed to the adventure. And honestly, haven't we all been tempted to go after something that's shiny and out of reach? Soon, members of the Mason Police and Fire Departments were gently wheeling the machine into a nearby store space with the gate down for privacy, because sometimes a kid deserves to be rescued in peace, away from phone cameras and stifled laughter. Several responders worked together, carefully unscrewing parts of the unit until little Noah could be lifted to safety. There were no injuries or trauma. It was just a wild story and a moment that made all the grown-ups remember. Childhood is a full-time experiment in chaos, curiosity, and climbing into places you absolutely don't belong. Noah's mom likely aged 10 years in the span of 5 minutes, but the boy, he walked away with all his limbs and probably a free stuffed animal, or at least a lifetime of remember when family stories. Because kids, they get into things. They teach us how to laugh at the mess, hold our breath for the rescue, and remember that some of life's most precious lessons come in the moments that were definitely not part of the plan. So here's to the little ones who crawl into crawl machines, leap off couches like superheroes, and paint the dog blue. You make the world wild, wonderful, and worth every rescue. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all ways. Psalm 91:11. They adopted a new pup, then discovered a family connection to the dog that died. Written by Heather Riggleman, read by Julie Provost. The story begins, as the best stories do, with love and loss, and a dog's biological father. They adopted a new pup, and this family discovered a connection to their dog that had died. It's a miracle with God's fingerprints of love written all over it. After the sudden loss of their beloved dog Rufus this past April, the Wright family in California wasn't ready to welcome another pet into their home. Rufus had been a part of every chapter of their lives, from City Hall wedding photos to the everyday chaos of raising their 2 young children, Maya and Benjamin. He wasn't just a pet. He was woven into their family's memories, into the fabric of their story. But just 4 days after Rufus passed, something unexpected happened. Jillian, the mother of the family, was scrolling through Muttville Senior Dog Rescue's website with her daughter Maya when she spotted a face that stopped her in her tracks. The resemblance to Rufus was uncanny. Same eyes, same muzzle, same soulful expression. His name was Ziggy. Despite the family's insistence that it was too soon, something shifted. Sometimes love nudges the heart open before it's ready. Jillian rushed to the shelter to meet the dog, who looked like Rufus, and somehow she knew this dog was meant to come home. Ziggy settled in with an almost eerie familiarity. He walked the same path through the house as Rufus did. He greeted the kids the same way. He howled, cuddled, and even looked at the family with the same spark in his eyes. It felt like Rufus had left something of himself behind. The connection ran deeper than coincidence. Curious, Jillian sent Ziggy's DNA off for testing through Embark. When the results came back, her world turned upside down. Ziggy wasn't just similar to Rufus. He was Rufus's biological father. The odds? Practically impossible, but somehow love found a way to circle back. The family was stunned. Even Sherry Franklin, founder of Muttville, who helped rehome over 13,000 dogs, called the discovery wild and almost unbelievable. It wasn't just a happy ending. It was a love story written with pause and providence. Ziggy now curls up in the same spot where Rufus once rested, walks the same route through the neighborhood, and brings comfort where the ache of loss still lingers. He doesn't replace Rufus, no pet ever truly can, but he carries a piece of Rufus with him, quite literally. He is a part of the story, part of the healing. Sometimes the love we think we've lost comes back to us in ways we never saw coming. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights. James 1:17.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
What happens when a writer and former history teacher goes toe-to-toe with his best friend, a nationally touring stand-up comedian? Total carnage, that's what. 2 men enter, and 2 men leave, because that's how it works.
Actually, you get hilarious, real, and insightful conversations about life, history, culture, faith, and everything in between.
Join me, comedian Johnny W., and my pal, author and speaker John Driver for Talk About That at lifeaudio.com or wherever you get your podcasts.